Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for being on this call tonight. It's our second Make Friends with Your Planner Masterclass. And as you probably picked up from the posts on Facebook and on social media in general, this month we will be talking a little bit about that year at glance and how you can use it and how you can make the most of it, and how can that double page where you see your year at glance help you in creating a doable, viable plan through your planner. Well, I saw from last month a couple of beautiful vision boards. Some of them were just stunning. And thank you for sharing, those of you who actually did. I greatly appreciate it. And I think everyone learns from them. So it's just a great way to pick up on who does what and how do we do it. And it just serves you everyone, because it actually gives you ideas on how to approach your own vision board, and I think that can be quite challenging, especially if you are not exactly extremely creative like I am, so because I'm not at all. So Kylie is smiling because she knows that in my planner you will find only words. It's that simple. It's true. But there's nothing wrong with words. So uh, as you all know, when it comes to the planner, there is a 7 steps to plan your planner madness that I follow on how to make and how to create a great plan through your planner. And these steps, don't forget, they are all at the front of your planner. They are written in there. You can always read through and follow them and try to work with them. And if you have any questions, just please feel free to ask them. Social media is just an amazing space to do it. Now, we spoke a little bit about legend, or at least we spoke a bit more about legend last time, and we did touch on vision board, and pretty much we touched on all of the steps in a very, very quick manner. But today, I would really love to talk about the year at glance. Now, the first question is usually, why is it even necessary? It's that double page in the planner that we can skip easily. And most of us do skip it because it seems too hard to actually use it in a planner. And you might be amongst the lucky ones that actually have it somewhere on the wall. And you might think, why would I actually do it in the planner? Well, I do think that this is one of the most important parts that you will use in the planner, because if it's done properly, it will give you invaluable information on how much effective time you have to work your business, to work or your businesses if you have more than one, and how can you actually create some sort of balance between your life and your business, and how can you actually make everything happen in your year. Also, it helps you with setting realistic goals, and that's a really big thing, and it's really important to keep that in mind, because if you set your goals based on unrealistic time frames, you are just setting yourself up for failure. Why? Because if you don't have the time to actually work through those goals, then you can't achieve them. It's that simple. And of course, it does help you work out when are your most productive times. It helps you work out a rhythm through the year, and it helps you keep an eye on what do you want to happen in the coming year. Now, the big question is, okay, I get it. What do I need to do? So I always say that the first thing you need to actually do is start gathering some information and start putting down all the obvious already booked things, like family holidays, I don't know, public holidays, workshops, conferences. Think about all those things that are already clear that will happen during the year. For example, if you know that you will be away on weddings or christenings or any big life events that you know that will chew up time from your life and from your year, have to first go into the planner. Now these two pages are usually the pages that will be dominantly and predominantly um, colored by your family or personal color. Why? Because those are the things that will shape how much time you have for your business. So don't be afraid and don't be scared if you see too much pink or yellow or green or whatever color you might have chosen for your family time. In my case, you will see that it's usually pink. And it's really important because it shows me if there's some sort of imbalance in my life, and if I tend to do some if I tend to work too much or too little. Or it even if you have, let's say, a part-time job, it's really important to have clarity around how much effective time you have to grow your business. So don't be afraid to actually use these pages and start writing in and coloring in all those things that you already know. And of course, the other big thing that you need to put on these two pages are all those things that affect your life, but they don't necessarily eat up all the time. So as a big example, I can only talk about school holidays. And some of you probably have children. Obviously, in school holidays, when you have kids, you work pretty much less than usual, or at least, I'm not sure about you, but I usually calculate with half time, because I know for sure that I will not work as much as I would do in a normal month. So hey, yes, it's February, kids are back to school. So if you don't have children and you think, oh, school holidays are not my thing and they will not affect me, trust me, the school holidays do affect all of us, because your clients do have children, and they will be affected by school holidays. Diane says that there are too many holidays. I totally agree with you. And then don't forget about the public holidays. We calculated here in Victoria, we have 2 weeks of public holidays over a year. And that's not calculating with the in-between days that just fall out because it just happens, like Easter. Easter never starts on a Friday and never ends on a Monday. Hey, it's just one of those things. And if by any chance it's close to Anzac Day, then pretty much the whole week is gone. And before you blink, it's next month. So I'm just saying that it's really worth marking those things that you know that will affect in some shape or form your business, even if they don't affect you personally on all levels. And probably Kylie would be a really good example to this, because she doesn't have children, and I know that she doesn't have children. So she's well aware that school holidays only affect her clients, so it affects her work. Now, don't be afraid to actually look at school holidays as a positive thing, because if you don't have children, but you know where your clients meet and where they are, hey, it's the best thing to go to the park and have a class in the park while the kids are running around and doing their things, and you get the attention of the moms for half an hour, 20 minutes, and you can have the best sales pitch ever. So just think it through and make sure that you use this information and the information that you put on these pages at their best. Now, the other thing that I really would like to talk a little bit about is how do you create this year at glance? Because I know some of you who already worked with me, it took a few goes before we found the right recipe on how to use it right. And I know that there were a few aha moments at the 2-day workshop that we had in November around this double page and those little things like, oh my God, I never looked at this from this perspective, even though I did spoke about it quite a few times at different workshops. So the how is really essential. First of all, use your colors. Don't reinvent the wheel. Use the same colors you already created in the legend and stick to them. when something is totally, when the day is fully affected, I usually block out the full days and sometimes even the full week. So if you look at the image, you will see that sometimes I even have 2 weeks blocked out. Or for example, if it's a conference, of course, you will block out a little bit more time than just the conference itself. You add at least a day before and at least a day after, because life goes back to normal a little bit slower than we would like to. And it's just important to have that clarity around this. And please trust me, there's a method to the madness, and there's a reason why I say this, and you will see it in on the next slide why I think it's really important to do it this way. And as you can see on the side, if there's things that just affect the weeks or the days, I usually draw a line or put a dot. That means birthdays or anything that is just something that I have to remember that it's there and it's important, but they don't need my full attention. Now, don't add just the things that you already know that are set in stone. So for example, you already booked your ticket to the convention, so you know for sure that you will be here unless something extreme happens in the family. And when I say here, yes, most of you who are in wellness advocates, you will be coming to Melbourne this year, which is Kirsten and my hometown, which is kind of cool. So can't say love me too. Melbourne is a good city, but the point is that don't use this double page just for the things that you already know that is set in stone and it's already booked and it's paid and so on. Use it even for the things that you intend to do, that you would love to do. Make sure that you put in all those things that are on your wish list. If you know that you will have a holiday, let's say in the second half of the year, don't be afraid to add that week in your planner, even if you don't know exactly when. Since we discovered the erasable pens and highlighters is not an issue, it shouldn't be an issue. And it's quite an amazing way to gain a bit of clarity on what really should happen during the year. But you know what? Just remember that these double pages are not set in stone. It changes, it molds. Revisit it every quarter, every month if you have to, but I definitely say at least once every quarter, go back to this double page and look at what really happened and look at what will happen in the next quarter and adjust your plan. Because why wouldn't you? It's not set in stone. So don't be afraid to actually change it to what the reality was and what the reality seems to be for the next 3 months, or what the plan is for the next 3 months. So I strongly encourage you to put all those things in that you think you will that will happen in the future during the year. Now, the other thing that I really want to talk about is how do we use this year at glance, because this is all fun. You create this beautiful view, it's colorful, it has all the little bits and pieces that happen, it seems like it's a great plan, but what else can you do with it? And this is where the magic lies, I guess, because this is where you can start working on your numbers and you can find out heaps of different things. Really, it's amazing what this double page can tell you. First of all, you can work out how much productive time you have. Now, before you say, oh, I don't know, I'm working in days or weeks or months, work out what is your smallest workable amount of time. In my case, it's weeks. I know some of you on this call would have days each week. So in that case, it's probably more sensible to talk about how many working days you have each week and each month, and then each quarter and each year, because that's all you have. So you have to be able to work with the numbers that actually reflect your available time. In my case, I work with full weeks and half weeks, depending on time of the year we are at. I never work with days because usually, if it is a public holiday, it's probably already reflected in school holiday mode and so on in my case. But the point is that it's worth working out exactly how much available time you have. Why? Because you can't take your goal and say, oh, 52 years, 4 years down, 52 years, sorry, 52 weeks, and then 4 weeks downtime, that's 48. Well, I'll divide by 48 and I'll get what I need to do each week. It's not true and it's not realistic. Why? Because as I said about 5 minutes ago, we have two full weeks of public holidays in Victoria, and most states have pretty similar uh, amounts of public holidays. And that's just public holidays. And what else? What else choose into your life? What else choose into your effective time? And as you can see on this image, you can see that there's 4H and 8 and so on. Well, actually what I do at the bottom of my planner, I look at every month and I add up all the full weeks and the half weeks, and that pretty much will give me over 3 months, over a quarter, exactly how many full weeks I have and how many half weeks I have. And that's a great starting point when it comes to setting my goals, because you cannot compare a quarter that has December in it with a quarter that starts, let's say, from April to June, where there's hardly anything happening. Okay, so just make sure that you calculate exactly how much productive time you have. It's probably one of the most important things, because once you've done that, you can literally assess your goals based on your productive time. This is how you will be able to stay on target, and this is how you will be able to set realistic goals that will help you achieve those, and not set unrealistic goals that will set you up for failure. Does that make sense? Yes? So it's very, very important to have that clarity. And yes, Diane just wrote that she's a days girl. It's really important to know exactly what is your measurement, to know exactly how much time you can spend on building a business, because that's the way you can grow, if you know how much time you have. And of course, based on this, you can work out a lot of things. You can work out your numbers, and it all has to work on based on the available time you have. You can work out your conversion rates. You can figure out whether what you thought you can do, is it really doable, or is it just a wish? If it's doable, can you push it a little bit more, or are you spot on? Based on all your other numbers like conversion rate, sales, and so on, which you probably already know, being consultants mainly, the one, or if you are a small business owner, then knowing your conversion rates on sales and how many clients you have to see and so on, all these numbers will help you work out realistic goals, knowing how much productive time you have during the year. Does that help a little bit? Now, the 3 mistakes that you could actually do is, first of all, big life events always take longer than the event itself. Don't forget to add lead up and wind down time when it comes to them. And of course, not adding things that affect, not adding all those things that do not affect you fully, like school holidays or birthdays and so on, again, can affect the way that you look at your time and your productive time. And of course, just skipping this whole 2 pages for the sake of skipping it is probably the biggest mistake, just because you don't know how to do it. Give it a crack. try it, and if you get stuck and you need a bit of help, don't be afraid to put up your hand and say, hey, I need a bit of help. Is this what you think it should look like, or whatever? We have this amazing group. So if you're not part of End Planners Anonymous or the Wellness Advocates group, then please make sure that you actually jump into these groups, because there's sometimes very useful information floating in there, and it's good to learn from others, and it's the best way to stay in touch. And when it comes to this, I'll just try to unmute everyone if I can. How can I unmute? I can't unmute everyone. Any questions around it?
Fancy a new flavor? Fantastic.
Well, what? No?
New Tim Tam crafted collection. What more could you wish?
Oh, what is it?
Can't hear you.
Ildi, maybe people can just unmute if they have a question, because we unmute everyone. We're just going to get any background noise from what's going on. Just a thought.
Hilda, you're muted on my thing. From Carol, I'll shut up now.
Am I muted? Now, can you hear me now? Okay, I managed to mute myself too. It happens, technology. So, okay, so let's go back. So it's all about 5 tips on using the planner, and I will do this segment every single month. And if you have any questions, or if you get stuck on the how-tos, on the physical how to use the planner, please shoot me a message, because it helps everyone. And there's no such thing as a foolish question. There's only unanswered questions. So virtually, this question was the main question for this month was, how do you use your highlighters, and how do you pinpoint the appointments that the real time frame of an appointment? It's a really good one, because when you think about the highlighter, it's really hard to actually write or draw a box that would pinpoint just exactly the time frame that is the appointment. Also, I never suggest to do that anyway. And if you look at the 5 tips, one of them is use the highlighter thickness as a buffer to create time, relief time. Why? Because it's just a good thing to have 5-10 minutes before the appointment and 5-10 minutes after the appointment, and it just shows you that you need to breathe between 2 things. And it also creates a natural stop between 2 appointments. What I usually do, and you probably saw a post yesterday or the day before, I think it was on the Instagram, and it got reposted on Facebook. What I do, I use a pen, and I put a dot exactly on the time when it starts, the appointment, within the colored box, and I draw a little arrow to the extent of the full appointment. Does that make sense? Yes? Cool. So why because like this, I will have a big box with a smaller arrow in it, and I will know exactly when it starts. If my appointment doesn't start exactly on the dot, yes, I have my planner. It's a good idea. If the appointment doesn't start on the dot, then I usually even write the exact time when it's. Can you see the arrows? No? Kylie says yes, Diane says no. It's in the little. I will stop in a second the screen share, and I can show you exactly what I mean by it. But I also will post in the next couple of days a short video on how I do it. So please um, don't panic. I will literally show exactly what I do in my planner, because that's the easiest way to do it. But the point is that don't be afraid to be creative on how to mark a real appointment. Okay. Now, one of the tips for this month is consistency on how you use the colors. Stick again to your colors. Don't change them. Make sure that you don't introduce new colors. You really stick to your legend or index that you created a month ago. Then the second bit would be mark the real duration of the appointment, and I will be doing a short video, and I will be posting it on in each group, so that you can see exactly what I mean with the box and the little bit in the box. But there is already a post out there around it. Now, as I mentioned, use the highlighter as a buffer. And of course, I strongly suggest leave gaps for emergencies between appointments. Why? Because life happens. And often it can happen that you planned out beautifully your whole day, and then an emergency email rolls in, and you have to make a few calls, or you have to go out, you have to run and do something, and everything just gets thrown off just because you had a 20-minute something else that had to happen, that you didn't know about. So it's worth leaving here and there half an hour to an hour gaps, and you know what, I'm pretty sure that you can fill up those gaps with things to do. We all have a pretty long to-do list, I'm quite sure. So if you can afford it, well, probably not in Diane's case, because she only has days, which means that you have hours in the evening to work. But try to leave at least little gaps that will give you a little bit of time for those emergency things that just slide into our lives from time to time. So leave gaps on purpose if possible. And of course, be creative and use other tools too. So for example, I use sticky notes in my planner, and the little sticky notes usually contain lists of my to-dos, and they are usually allocated into a time block. So you will see that in my planner there's empty blocks of time on a regular basis, because as much as well, I know exactly how much I want to work each week, and I do find that time in my planner every single week. So by doing that, I will end up with empty boxes that are not allocated with a task right up front, or the list of things that I want to do in that time frame is way longer than what would fit in that 1 centimeter wide hour gap. In this case, I usually use a little sticky note, and the beauty of a sticky note is that once you've done it and you ticked off everything, you can just simply peel it off and throw it away. There's nothing more satisfying than ticking off the things and then just throwing away the done list. It's just amazing. So make sure that you actually use in a creative way, add on sticky notes or stickers for that matter. And I'm not sure if I'm allowed to say anything. Kirsten, are you here? We lost you. Kirsten, where are you? Hello? Kirsten? No?
Yes, I'm here. I guess you've let the cat out of the bag anyway, so you might as well continue with that conversation, Hildy.
Sorry. Well, you know what? We have beautiful people on this call, and they deserve to find out first. Am I right, Rebecca? Rebecca's jumping out of her skin. Oh gosh. So, Kirsten, do you want to do the honors and let them know?
Yes, it's been a really long working in progress, I guess you could say, in regards to us actually putting some stickers together that we think that will work for our whole AMP Planner community. So this is not just obviously for wellness advocates, which is predominantly my field. This is also for people, you know, other business owners as well, that can use the stickers across the board. So we'll have three different types of bundles that'll be coming out. We'll be officially, I guess, announcing this in the next couple of days. I've actually had confirmation tonight that they've been finalised. Hooray! So yeah, just watch this space over the next couple of days. There'll be 3 different types of bundles, as we said, and Ildi will have those available for you. So yes, we'll send them all to you, Beck. Don't worry. I can see your little comment there.
That's awesome. Thank you, Kirstine. So we try to keep it a secret as much as we could, but obviously some of you already guessed what the special thing is. But hey, we really wanted to work with our planners. So we worked on creating some. It's kind of created our own, if it makes. Oh, you created your own. Why not? I mean, hey, Diane, why not? You can use both. But the point is that we created some stickers that actually fit our hourly gaps and things, so that you can actually use it effectively in the planner without overlapping, and just to make it pretty and nice. Because I think a planner, as much as it has to be very, very functional, it has to be pretty too. Would you agree with me? So that's pretty much the big news from us for today, and we did run over time because we did start a little bit late, but I hope you don't mind. Don't forget about connecting with us. If you don't have an end planner and you're on this call, it's never too late, because they are made by order. You can actually grab a planner at any time. And the other big news is that the financial year planner is just rolling into production in the next week. So if you have a financial planner, you can just prepare. It's going to be very, very soon out and ready to be purchased. So I'm working, seriously. I'm trying my best to keep on top of everything. And of course, if you know anyone who would need one, just send them towards us. We love people who love good planners. So don't forget that there's amazing workshops. Yes, Kirstine?
Oh, you've got them there. I was just going to give you a friendly reminder about announcing when the next one's going to be for next month.
There you go. I'm prepared tonight. Don't forget that the Make Friends with Your Planner is every first Monday of the month. It's about a 30-minute Zoom call, 30, well, now almost 40, but hey, we had some amazing good news for today. And of course, the Blueprint to Life Work Harmony is always a half-day workshop for those who live in Melbourne, and it is the 3rd Monday of the month. And of course, for those of you who feel like you've set your goals, you looked at them, you kind of know how to use the planner, but you're still unsure on how to put everything together, we are running a 2-day planning workshop again at the end of February. It's the 22nd and the 23rd of February, and it's all about creating that plan that will get you there, and will help you work with your goals and achieve your dreams this year. And of course, the last bit is the Time Fix program. Don't forget that if you think that working in a group is not for you, then there is a chance and choice to work with us, and the Time Fix program is just a perfect program because it runs throughout the full year. It helps you reset, and then it helps you stay on top of your ball game and keep up with the good work and with the new habits that you create. And that's pretty much it from me. Thank you very much for being on this call. I really hope that you got some valuable information out of it. If you need help, or if you just need to reach out for any reason at all, then please email us on ildi@endplanners.com, or jump online at endplanners.com, or there's my phone number, it's very public, or Facebook, or social media in general. Just please don't keep any questions, ask them, throw them at us, because that's how we can help, and this is how we can improve and grow. So thank you again, and here we stop the share and then the recording, and